Good Saturday morning to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Today, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to speak something very clear to those who have an ear to hear, and I am going to give those who don't have an ear to hear an opportunity to hear what it sounds like when something goes, oh, you'll hear it. So we're going to go in, and we're going to go in quick. Do you set with intentionality the spiritual atmosphere in your home, or do you submit unknowingly to the spiritual atmosphere in your home? Here's the vision that I want to give you, because there is no neutral ground and nothing is ever static. There is always action and activity going on at any given time, whether you are aware of it or not. Do you know the leaves are changing this time of the year? Do you know that they're changing colors almost imperceptibly to your eye, and yet it is happening every moment of the day? You may already have leaves that have fallen in your yard, and you're like, where did that happen? Whoa, they were green one day, now they're red, now they're orange, now they're yellow, wow, now they're brown. These things are happening whether you perceive them or not. They are happening. There is no stagnant motion. There's not stagnation where nothing is happening in the universe at any given time. There's always action and activity taking place. Many times, not even visible to the naked eye, like the leaves changing color as an example, okay? So I'm gonna give you another image here. Imagine Navy SEALs who were commissioned to go stay on the outskirts of an enemy nation. And they were there in anticipation of being needed at any given time in order to go in and get something done when it comes to taking territory or protecting those that are counting on them to be protected by them. However, there's no actual activity going on right there, but they're on and ready 24/7 because they know, bam, in a moment's notice, they can be called on. And if they are indeed called on, they must be equipped and ready to go. So what do they do regularly? They practice regularly. They regularly engage in the practice and the activities of their warfare. They practice their hand-to-hand combat. They practice staying physically fit. They practice shooting. They practice movement. They practice working as a team. Their whole life is about practicing so that when they are called to the mission, they are equipped and ready to go. However, they may be eating food. They may be drinking their water. They may be working out. But in a moment's notice, they have got to be ready to go. So although they can go about life and do the things of life on a normal basis and a regular routine, there's always something inside of them that knows at any moment, at any time, the enemy could rise up their head and we go to battle. They're never fully free. The only time they have that sense is maybe if they're not on their mission and they're on vacation, and their vacation time puts them back in the United States of America and they are no longer in the battle over there. It's now time that they can actually relax. However, depending on how highly skilled and highly trained that person in the Navy may be, whether they be the guy scrubbing the barnacles at the bottom of a ship or they be a Navy SEAL, whatever their position is, even if you're on vacation, you have signed yourself over to the Navy to be utilized when needed and called upon at any time. Can the Navy call upon you on your vacation? Yep, they sure can, right? So there's always a sense of readiness. There's never a, hey, the whole world is at peace and everybody's like, que sera, sera. It's all good in the hood. Let's just have a good time, eat, drink, and be merry, y'all. No, there's always warfare going on, whether you see it or not. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what is going on in the atmosphere of your home and your workplace every single day. And you are either submitted to the spiritual atmosphere around you unknowingly or maybe knowingly because you have acquiesced just because of being exhausted and tired of fighting the fight, or you are intentional about setting a spiritual atmosphere that is conducive to love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. You are creating intentionally an environment that cultivates good fruit, an environment that cultivates creativity, an environment that cultivates acceptance and kindness, an environment that cultivates a sense of liberty and freedom to be one's self, an environment that is not binding to one, that causes them to be diminished, but is freeing and liberating, causing one to be able to express themselves well. You are either unknowingly submitting to the current environment, or you are intentionally setting that atmosphere and that environment. Well, Steve, that sounds good and all, but I need to know what exactly you mean by that. How exactly you set an atmosphere in a home? Uncle Buck, I'm glad you asked me that, and I will tell you right now. I'll tell you how we do it, and everybody can do it different. In my home, we have a big TV in the main living area, high ceilings. You can hear the TV pretty much from every room in the house. Almost on a daily basis, every morning, Angela and I, first thing we go there, go to YouTube, and we click on, say, Hillsong, check it out, or Bethel, check it out, or Jesus Culture, check it out. And we have a particular style of music playing in our home almost all the time. Many times we leave it on during the day. Why ain't nobody at the house? Continuing to set the atmosphere in the home. Now, how powerful is music? You know exactly how powerful music is. There's a song you can hear that can take you back 20, 30, 40 years. Tears in your eyes. You go right back to the memory of that moment. Music is powerful. Why do you think professional athletes get themselves jacked up to go into battle with a particular type or style of music? Why do you think boxers, UFC fighters have their theme song playing when they come in? Because they set the atmosphere that they want in order to do what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, when you wake up, that is your ring. That is your battleground. That is the place that you do what you are called to do and the way that you are called to function, and you can set the theme song to your life to help you or harm you. Now, I know every now and then everybody's got a little bit, have a gangster rap Jones. I get you. I know everybody's going to want to do something like that every now and then. And yet, you have the ability to set an atmosphere, or many times to change and affect an atmosphere if you don't like what's going on in that house. Now, I'll give you a little insight into how this works. There is a statement in my favorite book that says this: God inhabits the praises of his people. And where the good Lord is, the enemy don't like being there. He really don't like being there. So in order to create a spiritual environment that invites the presence of the one who created you, you may choose to put on some praise and worship. Anybody ever been to a church service? There's this thing called praise and worship. If God inhabits the praises of his people, do you think he inhabits the whining of his people? Do you think he inhabits the moaning of his people? Do you think he inhabits the complaining of his people? It doesn't say that. It says he inhabits the praises of his people. The most simple way to begin to set the spiritual atmosphere in your home is to have praise and worship playing in your house all the time. Don't like the current spiritual atmosphere in your house? Take a chance today, kick in that praise and worship, and see what happens. Have a great weekend, guys.